Excel has functions which allow us to sort data, to sort both numerical and text data, in alphabetical order or from smaller to larger values and things of the sort. You use the sort function to automatically sort numbers or strings, and when you're sorting something, one thing I can tell you is if you put titles on top of it like this, the sort command becomes a little bit easier to use. It's not strictly necessary. I can just take a list of values and sort it, but it becomes a little bit easier if it has these titles on top of each column. We're going to see why in a few seconds. Now, one thing that's interesting about the sort function is that it's very flexible. You can sort a range of cells, you can sort an entire column, you can sort several columns, you can even tell Excel to sort on this one first, then on this one, and so on. In order to sort, what you use is the sort command, which you can find here on the Home tab. At the very end of this Home tab, you have this little feature which says Sort and Filter. That's where you find both the sort and the filter command. Most of the time, you can click here where it says Sort A to Z, and Excel is going to automatically try to determine what you want to sort. So for example here, that I have a bunch of cells with text in them, surrounded by white space, it's going to be real easy for Excel to know that this is what I want to sort. But sometimes Excel messes up the sort, so you have to be kind of careful. I press Sort A to Z, and there we go. We've sorted A to Z. Excel automatically saw that this is the range that I wanted to sort. Now I can also sort this manually if I want to be sure of the range that I'm sorting. What I do is I select here the range. I could press this button, Sort A to Z, and Excel would know that this specific range is what I want to sort. But I can also go here to Custom Sort. And on Custom Sort, I can see exactly what Excel is going to do. It's going to sort by column H, which is the correct column. It's going to sort on the values. Notice that you can sort on values, cell color, font color, things like that. And it's going to go A to Z. I can also go Z to A. No problem there. And when I press OK, there's my list of values, which has been sorted in inverse order. Now, what I was telling you about sorting becoming much easier if you have title columns is because of this. When I go into Sort, and I press Custom Sort, and I press here, my data has headers, then Excel is automatically going to use these titles to refer to the columns. So I no longer have to see it's going to sort on column J, but rather I can select Sort it on Code, on Word, or Cases. I'm going to start by sorting on Code, A to Z. Notice something here. I can have two of these codes be identical. It's nothing strange if you have inventories or if you have large collections of codes that two codes might be identical. You might have more than one item with the same code. Now, what happens when Excel finds two items with the same code? Well, it places them together. Now, if you wanted to sort those items, for example, if the codes are identical, then sort based on the name or the word of the product, you can add a level right here. With this, it says Add Level. I press here and sort by code. If the codes are identical, sort it by word. And just the same, I can define Sort A to Z, Sort Z to A, or whatever. And I can say, if it just so happens that they have the same code and the same word, well, sort it on cases and sort smallest to largest, just like that. Now, this cases is going to apply only if code is identical, word is identical, and it needs to sort on cases. If, for example, codes aren't identical, Excel is simply going to sort on code. It's not going to take these into account because obviously what you want to do is sort on code. Only if there's two identical values here, it's going to move on to here, and if there's two identical values here or more, it's going to move to here. Most of the time, this thing I'm doing here is really not necessary. I only need one level of sort, which is code. And when I press OK, see, there's my list sorted by codes. I can always sort again, for example, by word. And when I sort by word, I get this. So that's how you use the sort function. Be careful if you have columns where you have a formula, because if you're not careful, you can really mess up your formulas with sort. For example, I'm going to create this column called formula, which is simply going to be this one times 5. Okay? Just like that. Now, in the best of cases, when I use the sort function and I sort on code, Excel is smart enough to know that it's also supposed to sort the formulas. So this formula refers to L3, L4, L5, L6, L7, and so on. Excel automatically updated the references depending on how the list ended up sorted. But what you have to be careful of is this. Let's say that I inserted a blank column right there, because it looks neater, because I needed a space or whatever. There's a blank column here in between these two columns. And it just so happens that I sort the table. And as you can see, since there's a blank column here, Excel doesn't add formula to my range. Now watch what happens if I sort by code. When I do that, Excel says L3, L4, L5, L6, L7. It still maintains the same order right here. Now you have to be careful in certain cases because Excel doesn't notice that you actually moved these values and you get incorrect references. If this formula is supposed to follow, if this is a specific formula which is supposed to follow value shock, and you sort this list and you didn't include the formula in the sort, it might end up referencing something down here. And then you take this formula, and if you copy it down, you're going to mess up your ranges because it's going to start down here and start ranging downwards. And eventually it's going to fall off the end of the list and stuff like that. So be careful when you're sorting. When you're sorting formulas, be sure to always include the formula column inside your sort range in order to avoid those kinds of problems with lost cell references when you sort. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and to visit our website, cubicleoverlords.com, for more instructional videos like this one.